What's going on, everybody? This is Temperature Check. I am your host, as always, man. Mr. Check the Temperature. How y'all doing? Before we get started with today's content, I must do what I always do anytime you see me on your screen, and that's thank you guys for the likes, comments, shares, most importantly, those subscriptions. So whether it be a day one fan, somebody who just started rocking with the channel today, man, I greatly appreciate it. And if you're loving what I got going on my YouTube and you want to see more of me, it's easy, man. You follow me, I follow you back. We'll build together. So check me out on Instagram, Mr. Check the Temperature. Hit me up on Twitter, Mr. Temp Check. You can even find me on Clubhouse, Mr. Check. But before we get started with today's content, man, I got to let y'all see some of the hoodies and hats that I'm selling. You see the pictures? $45 for the hoodie, small to XL. If you were 2X or 3X, I got to charge you $5 extra. The hats is $25. Shipping nationwide, $10. Anything over 10, I got y'all. For the international, we'll have to talk, man, because, you know, they be trying to hit a brother for like $35 for the shipping. We want to kind of talk about that. But before we get started with today's content, I got to do one thing, man. I got to put the disclaimer out there. I talked to Showtime SP. I talked to Big Brother last night. He said, Mr. Check the Temperature, don't jump out the window. I said, but I got to, because ain't nobody else going to do it. Ain't nobody else going to say what needs to be said, so why not? And I'm with all the Loaded Lux smoke. So I'm going ahead, let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. So, Loaded Lux, beloved. Shout out to you first and foremost. I understand that you are a pillar. I understand you are on everyone's Mount Rushmore. I understand and I appreciate what you did for the culture. However, it's a new era, baby. Just like basketball, it has evolved. We no longer shooting twos, we shooting threes. We got the Euro step, we got the crossover. We got the James Harden step back. So, just like basketball, battle rap has evolved, brother. Beloved. So shout out to Nunu Nails, man. Shout out to Nunu Nails. She had an interview with Loaded Lux, and she did not let Loaded Lux talk her in circles like he does in 99% of his interviews. So shout out to her. Whether you like her, whether you hate her, you got to respect her interview talent, because she got straight to the meat and potatoes. She got under Loaded Lux skin a little bit. He wasn't really ready for that type of pressure that she was applying on him. So again, shout out to Nunu Nails, man. But you don't think Bdot messing with you? What? What do you mean? Oh, because you're talking about when that thing is thinging, when that Kool-Aid hits the right temperature in the refrigerator and it's sitting next to the lemonade, that thing is thinging? Nah, brother, we not doing that. We not doing that. Not in 2021, not on my channel, sir. Here's my question. How come you can say you're outside when you really not outside? You are not outside consistently, sir. You know who you are? You know who you are, Loaded Lux, right now? You are the kid in the neighborhood that comes out every summer because he's visiting his grandparents. And so he's in the neighborhood for like 2 weeks. So you see him for like 2 weeks and he cool, and then he run back in the house and you'll never see him again until next summer. That's who you are. You pick and choose when you want to come outside. And coming outside once every 8 months ain't gonna cut it in 2021. That is not being active. When I ask this question, and I'm going to ask it again, when was Loaded Lux last good 3 rounds? Because we're not saying that the Sue Surf Loaded Lux, everyone's saying that was not a good Loaded Lux. Even Loaded Lux is saying that was not a good Loaded Lux. So when was his last good individual battle? You know the answer I got? Hollow the Dime. You know how long ago that was? 7 years. 7 years? So you coming up like locusts. Every 7 years, that's when you come outside. So technically, this is your year. It's the age of Aquarius. That's what you're telling me. Okay, cool. But don't say you outside. Don't say you outside, because it is a line of killers. And it's been a line of killers that have been looking for you, that have been waiting on you. But you've been waiting for this thing to keep thinging, and I'm tired of that thing that you think is thinging, because it really ain't thinging like that. It's not. I'm sorry, sir, it's not. And I'm going to tell you why. You got Daylyt coming up. Daylyt is someone who is very, very capable of beating you. you're very multi-layered. You put things together. Every time we watch you, we can go back and give you and get something from it. But that's not how battle rap is judged anymore, sir. You can't tell me that you win on the first watch. Because that's what it's about right now. It's not about, oh, well, the initial recap, and then we come back 2 weeks later after we watched the battle 14 times, and then we can sit here and say Loaded Lux did his thing. No, sir. No, sir. That thing got to be thinging immediately. You may age like a fine wine, sir, but we need liquor shots. Just being honest. We need liquor shots, because guess what? Liquor still stays the same. Off the recap, it still stays the same off 2 weeks later. Wine ages. It gets better as it gets older. Consistent. We talking moments versus consistency. You really think Daylyt, DNA, Chilla, Bdot, can nobody hang with you? The only one that you really feel got it like that is Daylyt? Sir, I think you are sadly mistaken. So here's my thing. Here's my challenge. How come you can't take Daylyt, DNA, Bdot, and Chilla Jones all within a calendar year? Why not? I already know what y'all saying. Well, that's crazy. Who would take those type of battles like that back to back to back to back? The precedence has already been set. Rock just did it. Rock just had a schedule just like that. He went Daylyt, came right back with Murder Mook, and then had Verb. All within 365 days. It ain't even been a full 365 days since he started off with Daylyt yet. So why not Loaded Lux? Why can't Loaded Lux not do this? Because here's the thing, Loaded Lux. The reason why I feel like you are very successful in your battles is because you be penning for 8 months before you take a battle. If you sit here, the one thing that no one can tell me, what do you think happens if Bdot gets Lux and Bdot sits out for 8 months? Or DNA sits out for 8 months? Or Chilla Jones sits out for 8 months? What do you think happens with their pen? Because the advantage that you have, if you have time on your hand, you can pick and choose these battles. But let's just say you was really outside for a full year and you took those 4 battles 3 months apart from each other. Would you still look the same? Would you go 4-0? Hell no, you ain't going 4-0. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's a couple of them that's going to clip you up. I said it. It's a couple of them that's going to clip you up. You think Bdot sitting for 8 months? 8 months? Yeah, they call him Baby Lux. Why do they call him Baby Lux? Because you came out first. That's it. That's the only reason. Because you were an established battle rapper before Bdot was. So what if the roles was reversed? What if Bdot, well, what if there was a Bdot before Loaded Lux? Would they call you Baby Bdot? Probably. So miss me with that. That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for me. How come you can't take a Chilla Jones? He's champion of the year. Arguably the best battle rapper in the world right now. Why is he not deserving? Because that thing ain't thinging for you? I don't want to hear that. Why not Bdot, who arguably could have been champion of the year outside of the one stumble, the one choke in the Super Bowl against Chilla? Why not? You talking about he on the roof? He invented the roof. I don't want to hear that Loaded Lux is the foundation, because here's the thing. For this new battle rap culture from the 2017, even if we just take Caffeine era, what has Loaded Lux given us? Don't tell me what he did against Cal. Don't tell me what he did against Hollow. Don't tell me what he did against Clips. Don't tell me what he did in the Lion's Den. What has he given us in the Caffeine era? What has he given us in the new era of battle rap? Yeah, he beat Sue Surf. So what? What does that mean? What does that mean? Was Sue Surf ever arguably one of the best of this era? Did we ever consider Sue Surf a 3-round killer? No. No. That does not. You have not battled anyone from this era. Do y'all realize that Loaded Lux has not battled anyone from this era? Because if you think about it, what era is Sue Surf from? He's from the URL era. Hitman Holla vs. Sue Surf. Conceited vs. Sue Surf. He's from that era. Bdot, Chilla Jones, let's talk about DNA. Let's talk about why DNA has killers on his resume. DNA has evolved just like his name. Y'all said he couldn't clap the machete, even though Quavo can clap a machete now. But you know, whatever. You said he couldn't clap the machete, so he put the guns down and the machetes down. Now what? Consistency versus moments. What has Loaded Lux? When y'all talk about Loaded Lux, what do y'all talk about? You talk about Cal. You talk about the moments versus Cal. Who cares? In 2021, I do not care about a battle that happened over 7 years ago. I am sorry. That should not be your most recent transaction. If I have to go back 7 years, that's like filing for bankruptcy. 7 years. 7 years. Chapter 11, file for bankruptcy. That's what you're telling me. I got seven, bruh. Where I understand the nostalgia feeling that y'all get, man. That's why I said, like, when I made the comparison on Twitter, man, people tried to drag me because I said, could Jordan come out of retirement right now and beat LeBron, beat a Steph, beat a James Harden? Hell no. Hell no. So why not? Why one of the biggest things? Forget age. Iron is sharpening iron consistently. Consistently, iron sharpens iron. Bdot, DNA, Chilla Jones, they've been outside. They've been pinning. And they're consistent. They don't take 7, 8 months for their next battle. They're consistent. Could you imagine Loaded Lux with a regular schedule? He only has 3 months to write for somebody? Think about the resumes and the timeline of some of these people that are trying to battle him, what they're trying to do, the precedent that they have set with their own careers. We're talking about consistently battling. Their pen has not gotten weaker. Loaded Lux, could you do this? Could you run through that gauntlet in a year? I don't think, not unscathed. Hell no, not unscathed. I'll be willing to take that bet. Absolutely willing to take that bet. You telling me in a year you took Daylyt, DNA, Chilla Jones, and Bdot? No, you're not going for it, no. You're not going for it, no. I don't know if you gonna win more than 2. Honestly, I may have you only getting one of them battles clearly. And again, this is off the first watch. Don't tell me I got to watch this 13, 14 times and then I understand Loaded Lux, because Daylyt is just as complex. And guess what? We was able to decipher who won that battle pretty clear on the first watch. We still go back and watch that Daylyt versus Rock and still find new stuff. So don't tell me just because you're multi-layered, you can't win off initially off the first watch. Why can't you win off the first watch, Loaded Lux? That's my question. Why can you not win off the first watch? So you line them up. Line them up, Loaded Lux. That thing is thanging. The thing is thanging. The Kool-Aid is at the right temperature. The potato salad, it's been stirred up just right. You got the boiled eggs cut up and sliced right on top of the potato salad for aesthetic purposes. That thing is thanging. Come outside, Loaded Lux. Some people that want to talk to you. But I'm with all the smoke. So bring it. This is Temperature Check. I am your host as always, man. Mr. Check the Temperature. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And like always, we just getting started.